Hi, I'm Corbet-Owen, a South African trained clinical psychologist and health coach who's been working and researching in the weight field for many years. From this website, I like to bring you experts and up-to-date information that you just won't find anywhere else about the whole idea of ideal weight and health. Professor Linda Bacon is a nutrition professor and researcher. She holds research degrees in physiology, psychology, and exercise metabolism with a speciality in nutrition. She's an internationally recognized author on topics related to nutrition, weight, and health, and an internationally recognized researcher who has conducted federally funded studies on diet and health and published them in many top scientific journals. Linda, what are some of the things we should look out for when it comes to this whole idea of ideal weight?
I still remember this day. It was June 1998, and one night, 29 million Americans went to bed in perfectly healthy bodies, but they woke up fat with a medical diagnosis that they were supposed to get some help, like go on diets or take drugs. What happened was, of course, not that everybody gained weight overnight, but that was the day that the United States lowered the obesity standards, so that suddenly all these people that were in the category that was previously called normal weight were suddenly in either overweight or obese categories. And I was just shocked that the US government would have lowered the standards. And my conclusion was basically that we should be raising the standards quite dramatically as opposed to lowering them. So I called somebody who happened to be on the National Institute of Health panel for the obesity task force that had made the recommendation to the government to lower the BMI standards. And I asked her, how come you did this? And she said, well, in the end, we got a lot of political pressure on us to conform to standards that were already out there that were set by the World Health Organization. I got really curious then as to, well, why would the World Health Standards be based on bad science? And so I contacted the World Health Organization and I asked them, how do you come up with your recommendations? And they told me that the recommendations came from the International Obesity Task Force. I then looked up to find out information about what that group was. And basically, they're a privately funded group, and the two leading funders at the time were the only two pharmaceutical companies that had weight loss drugs out on the market. It's the pharmaceutical industry that wrote our current BMI standards, and of course they make a lot of money off of it because now a lot more people are candidates for their drug treatment.
Professor Tracy Mann runs the eating lab at the University of Minnesota. She's been researching weight and weight loss for over 2 decades and is an internationally recognized authority on the fields on why diets don't work. She's also written a fabulous book called Secrets from the Eating Lab. Tracy, after all your years of research, what should people know about trying to reach their ideal weight?
There's always somebody out to make a quick buck. I'd like to see our government regulate diet products better. The FDA years and years ago had a meeting at one point to see what information they were going to require commercial diet companies to disclose in their ads. There were recommendations, but nothing was required. That's not even having an FDA, if that's all they're going to do. Bottom line, people, if you lost weight and regained it, not your fault. Not your fault. People don't necessarily know that the large majority of people who lose weight on diets regain it, plus even extra weight. So people need to know that these products don't work.
So if you're frantically worrying about your weight and trying every diet out there, this should give you pause for thought.